When the weather starts getting warmer and drier here in Washington, one of my favorite things to do is to go camping with my family. There's just something about, sleeping in the wild, waking up on the sound of birds and the water gushing in the lake. Something about not having access to phone networks or any electronics. The fact that the girls and us have nothing to do except to be with each other and find something to do because there's nothing else to do. When it gets dark at the end of the day, the most that you can do is maybe do some s'mores on the fire pit, and then everybody have to snuggle in the tent together and just sit together and talk because there's no TV and nothing else to keep people busy. There's something about that feeling that I just can't get from anywhere else. Another thing that you have to know about me is that I'm a really late planner. So I'm not that kind of person who, thinks about where I want to go a year before and book it. And here in Washington, the camping spots are booked almost a year in advance. And so we ended up having to compromise and do one of those first come, first serve camping spots. And so in order for you to find a really good spot, you do have to wake up really early to guarantee finding a spot, because we did end up sleeping in a car one time before.
Zina, what are you doing?
I'm sleeping in a car.
Why? Why are you sleeping in the car?
Because we couldn't find a camping spot.
طيب, is that fun ولا لا?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I like my house more.
But that was a good lesson learned anyway. And so that time we packed the car the night before, we put the kids to bed in their clothes, and then we took everyone to the car at 5 a.m. and we rushed to the North Cascades, and good for us, we did find a good spot that could see the lake. We quickly set up our tent, our ice boxes and chairs, and got our place ready to go. Because there is a big bear warning on the table, we had to put our ice box and all the food in a really tight container that they had for us to avoid having bears come after our food. I had packed for lunch these healthy cakes made of almond flour with a lemon maple syrup frosting to go with it. And I've made some sushi, which my girls love, and yes, it does have some white rice, but I at least made it with real crab, avocado and cucumber. I know that a lot of people feel very intimidated about camping. Some people feel intimidated about, what to pack and, how they're going to eat. And some people, find it scary to be in the wild. So I was hoping that by showing you what we pack and what we eat and how we spend our day in one camping trip, that I can maybe take away some of those fears and inspire you to get courageous next summer and do something similar. After food, we went down to the lake and we started exploring and figuring out what to do. And as I told you in the beginning, there's actually nothing to do when you're camping. So the kids will get creative on how to entertain themselves, whether it's by building rock towers, playing in the lake, or just walking around. They just have to figure out something to do.
Yes, you do. Baba.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Concentrate. من غير ما تعملوا أي صوت. Concentrate what sounds do you hear. وهسألكوا after 4 minutes.
I heard stepping noises, laughing people.
Ross Lake Trail was one of the highlights of the trip. It's a long trail, you can hike up to 6 miles, but we chose to do just the short hike, which they call the Happy Creek Trail. We decided to just make it up to the waterfalls and then come back. This trip when the summer got really warm, and there were a lot of wildfires from California and Canada and Washington, and so there was a full fire ban. We couldn't even do a fire pit or a barbecue. So I had to get out of my way and take completely pre-cooked food that I can just warm on the stove, which did require a little bit of extra planning the day before. But it also paid off when we went and all the food was ready to cook. We just warmed everything. We ate healthy for the whole trip, and it was just super easy, super simple. For the protein, I cooked some chicken fajitas and some meat shawarmas, and I froze those overnight. I made a big salad and kept the dressing to the side, and I made a potato, carrot, and pea salad. When it was time for dinner, all I had to do is warm up the chicken, warm up the tortillas, put the dressing on the salad, and we had a full healthy meal to go. A camping trip is never complete without forgetting something. On this trip, I actually forgot my cups, and so drinking was a bit weird. There was a huge problem with this trip. When we went, there was lots of wildfires around, and the air actually pushed all the smoke towards Washington, and so everything was fully covered in smoke. By the time we went home and got phone networks, we realized that there is an outdoor ban because of how low the air quality is. If you look carefully at the picture, especially things like the George Lake overlook and the Diablo overlook, where you're supposed to actually see the beautiful blue lakes down there, the smoke has actually covered it that you can almost see nothing. Another thing is that it actually covered the sun, and so it was much colder than what we expected. So the kids were not so happy that they were not able to go in the water easily. What we were actually supposed to see was something that looks like this. This fairly easy trail starts with a suspension bridge going over the George Lake Dam, and then you go through an easy hike that takes you to stunning views of the Ladder Creek waterfalls. You really don't want to miss this one. Pretty simple for breakfast. I just packed some butter, a few organic eggs, a couple of fruits, hummus, some jam, gluten-free tortillas, and we kind of just, mixed and matched everything. What gives Lake Diablo this unique turquoise color is actually the glacier mountain around it, but that also makes the water super cold and hard to swim in.
Jenna, you don't have to do it.
Jenna.
Yes, I do.
Jenna عند Lake Diablo. The water is freezing. Oh!
الفوطة.
ايس ووتر يا جنى.
Actually,
واو.
برضه شوية كده بس.
ثلج شوف
The water is freezing.
ثلاجة.
That kind of went for me. So, Mama, I did your dare.
You did. I owe you an ice cream tomorrow on our way back.
You were already going to give us that. You owe me $10.
لا.
You owe me $5.
لا.
It was almost time to go home, but we wanted to do one more stop. We stopped by the Cascadian Organic Farm, where we got to have some of their organic ice cream and enjoy eating it in this beautiful farm full of flowers, sunflowers, and having gorgeous views of the mountains. And after that, we headed out to their blueberry farm. It's a you pick farm, so you go and pick yourself, and we were able to actually get 5 pounds of organic blueberries.
Good job. So I hope that didn't feel too much for you. I hope that inspired you that you can enjoy a couple of days in the wild and just let go of the luxury and all the things that we have at home.